Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, starting at verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim L'Chachodash. Double honors to our elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace, love, and salutations to those that do this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yala from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson, and I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. This is just going to be a really quick lesson based off of a video that I saw, and it just shows you how Jacob really is the former of all things, and the more that you learn about this world and the things that benefit, the so-called white man, right? And, just the other heathens, you come to realize that it was all created by Jake, right? And I didn't even know that today's modern day ambulances that we see was actually pioneered by Jake. It was actually pioneered by Jake, okay? Jake was the one that created that whole concept. And yet, you got these hospitals and different organizations that has taken it over and made it as if they're the ones who have done it. They're the ones who, because they control it. Why? Because as it says in the book of Deuteronomy, you know what? Let's just get it real quick. Deuteronomy. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. And we go back to that Wisdom of Solomon. So 28. Deuteronomy 28, starting at, 28 and 15. I think it's 46. No, that's not it. That's not the one I'm looking for. Yeah, here it is. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 33, and it says, "The fruit of thy land and all thy labors, a nation which thou knowest not shall eat up, and thou shalt shall be only oppressed and crushed away." So another nation that we don't know, Esau, Edom, right, and the other nations are going to eat up the things that we create, right? And if they eat it up, how are we supposed to know that it was one of our people that made it, especially if they control the narrative? All right. So just, going into it, you're like, so the things that we hear in the street, all of that, all the time, the sirens of people going and how many lives it saved. Now, there's a lot of lives that were lost in the ambulance, but a lot of lives were saved because of it. And yet, Jake never gets no credit. There are no streets, no statues, no nothing to represent the men that pioneered this. So I have a video that I'm about to play, and this is a short little clip, but it just shows you how you have people that remember that Jake actually did this, and it was stolen from him. But this stuff now affects the whole entire world. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a play, and then we'll close it out.
Where was the first ambulance service created in the U.S.? That's right, Pittsburgh. Right here in Pennsylvania. First ambulance service, 1967, was Freedom House. And it was pioneered in the black community. All communities were being failed. You called emergency services, it's basically the police, they'd come by, they'd throw you in the back of a police cruiser, take you to the emergency room, no care. And what these 25 black men and women did were pioneers, the first paramedics in the United States. What they did was the first EKG in the field, the first intubation, the first shock, electrodefibrillation of the heart. That was done here Pennsylvania by these EMS workers at Freedom House. And the reason why it was black workers is because as bad as things were everywhere else, it was worse in the black community. It was because these people, when they called police, they weren't always greeted with, let's get you to the hospital, greeted with skepticism, greeted with a lot of doubt and suspicion. this was the community that needed it the most. But this was the model for the rest of the nation. And I think it's important as we celebrate our 250th anniversary that we don't whitewash, we don't push this aside, we don't shrink from our history, we talk about it, we learn from it.
And you see all of these great things that Jake has created that the world benefits from. These, when he said something, he said, let's not whitewash it. It's been whitewashed. Okay? What are you talking about? Let's not whitewash it. It should have been whitewashed, because these are things that were not put in the history books. You think that other men of pink flesh, pinkish, reddish flesh, pale males, created this system, but you learn that it was created out of a necessity, because Jake was oppressed, and Jake didn't have access to healthcare or emergency healthcare. So these men created something that their people can call upon, and just like Esau do, he took what they had and industrialized it and privatized it, made it theirs, and now you got to go through all these goddamn certifications and things of that nature. You know, you got to do all these A, B, and C's to be a damn paramedic now, and of course it's racially biased. Of course it is, because that's how Esau operates. And yet Jake was the one that created this shit. And Jake was the one that created. So let's go back to that Wisdom of Solomon again. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Chapter 5 and verse 1. And it says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, far beyond all they looked for." You see? So far beyond that, and that's why the Lord is going to come back and deliver us. Because Esau, you're not going to do the right thing. You're not going to give Jake back everything you stole. You're not going to do it. So the Lord is going to have to come and force you to do it. Okay? The Lord is going to force you to do it. So, you know, I just wanted to do a quick hit on this particular video just to show you that truly, you know what? Let's just close out on that. So let's just close out on that. We're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 16. And it says, "The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name." So Jacob is the former of all things, which means that everything that you see in one way, form, or fashion was created or influenced by Jake. Okay? And y'all cannot, and the more and more we learn about Jake's history, the more and more we find out that yes, indeed, Jacob is the former of all things, and you devil stole everything. Okay? Everything you've stolen. And you've given no account for our labors. You've taken credit for all of the things that you've never created. All right? So with that, I'm going to end it off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kadash. Praise, edifying, quick hit. Until the next time I say shalom.